Man, something I checked out is, first of all, you are God's prophet. So how do you feel when you God's prophet and God give you a word like that?
Yeah.
Like right now today when God be talking to a lot of people, man, they be like, Lord, is you sure? You sure you want me to do that? Cause just imagine in your mind, you saying, Lord, I know God ain't told me to go marry no prostitute. Just think
Yeah.
about the lady Julia Roberts on Pretty Woman or whatever it was when she was a prostitute and a rich man supposed to come take you out your misery. It's the same thing. You just imagine, man, somebody been selling their body and God tell you to go marry him.
Yeah.
Like I gotta think I be going crazy. I said, Lord, I'm going crazy or something. Why would you tell me to do this? And we know God is saying that his children and his chosen people, we do him like that all the time. But like, Lord, why do I gotta be the example? Why do you choose me to take a woman that's gonna do me like that? He says that they gonna end up having kids and he ain't even sure if the kids his or not. Because of where you come from and what you do. But God said, yeah, marry her and deal with that because that's what I'm dealing with when I'm dealing with my people. So the same way you feel is the same exact way I feel. But we had to look at it like that so we can get some understanding. That's how come God will allow us to go through so many different things in our lives so we can get a different type of understanding. We can get a full understanding and know what's actually going on. So once I get that full understanding and I actually know what's going on, I'm like, oh, okay, Lord, now I understand the pain that I caused you. Because what do you think the pain was that lady was causing him? What do you think the pain was of him talking to God's people and God's people ignoring him?
Yeah.
God's people ridiculing you. Oh, boy, you married a prostitute. You don't know what you talking about.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate flex because they saying you don't know what you talking about. You can't know. How you going to be God's prophet and you couldn't prophesy that you was marrying a prostitute? Can you prophesy which kid is yours or not? Like, what are you talking about? I'm not listening to you. And that's how God's people were back in them days. They looked at your status, what you had going on. If you ain't have a bunch of money, you ain't have a wife and had a bunch of kids, they felt like you was Lord then or less than. So now God is telling the prophet, his own man of God, he's saying, hey man, I'm going to let you be the example and everybody going to see the example so they can understand how they treat me. And all you got to do is say that my wife might be doing it, but you God's wife and you doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So you can identify it in it that my wife is doing it. Can you identify that you doing it? We can always identify what somebody else is doing when we give an example or we give a story. We know what they did wrong, but we don't know what we did wrong. So when I tell a story, if I don't use me as the example, you will catch it. But if I use me as the example, you might not. If I use you, you surely won't. You're like, oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But then if I explain it and say it's me, you're going to say, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. But God said, I'm going to give you an example that you can't deny. I'm going to give you an example where everybody going to treat you bad, going to laugh at you, going to ridicule you, and you will feel like how I feel. I feel like when you go serve other gods. How I feel when you don't come talk to me every day. And it says that this was her profession, so this was something she was comfortable with doing.
Right.
I was like, so why did she get married if she want to do that? Because that's what we always say, right? If you want to do all that, what you get married in the first place for? But I guess she wanted a savior at the time, and God told him to marry one, so she'll do. She in that town. At least everybody over there know who she is and what's going on.
Yep.
So it's no telling her who all had her in the town, who know about her, who know she disrespecting you, who know she, you dealing with this whole thing, and God is saying, that's what I'm dealing with. I'm going to make it hit home. I'm going to make it hit you closely so you can have an understanding and you can know what's actually going on. Because you didn't see it when me just telling you that. When God say, well, you backsliding and you doing this and this, you don't see it, you don't feel it. But when he allow you to go through certain things in your life, then you feel it more. Then you holler out to him. Then you call out to him. Now you want his assistance. Now you want his help. But at first, you was doing good on your own. And that's what God is trying to remind his people, and that's what he's telling his prophet, like, be the example so they can see what I'm saying.
Right.
I need you to show them what I'm saying. Because we've been talking to them forever, and they not catching on, so they need an example. Some people learn by example. They learn by seeing it, not by hearing it. Some got to hear it and see it. So God is giving an illustration through the prophet Hosea and told him, hey, go marry a prostitute.
Wow.
I was like, man, Lord. And you're going to have children for the prostitute. We ain't even going to tell you the end of the story about the prostitute. We just going to ride it as we keep on going into it. But it's just some of the things that God will allow the man or the woman of God to go through.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to have strength, and God is going to give you the strength to go through it. But it's still what you have to go through so you can realize who God really and truly is, and for you to be able to translate it. You'll be able to tell somebody else. It's like the testimonies. Like if you've been through that situation in life, that testimony is realer. When you tell your story, people understand, people can identify because they saw the situation or they've been in that situation before. So God is allowing the prophet to feel the way he feel. So when he tell the people what he want them to tell the people, he'll fully understand it. And he'll be able to speak and come from the heart. That's what I want to add.